I was raised my whole life not to talk about my family business because it's uncouth of me, but this is my business. It just happened to include my family. So, story time! Okay, let me paint the scene. It's November 2024. Trump just became president. I'm beefing with my mom. I hate my job. Like, everything is just crashing down. I'm like, no, I can't do this no more. So I bought a one-way ticket to South Africa because I was already thinking of visiting in December. So I was like, no, actually, I'm just gonna move. So I booked a one-way ticket and I set it for a week and a half after I bought the ticket. And I told all my family, I was like, okay, I'm leaving now. So figure it out. So after I bought the plane ticket, I called my sister and I was like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to South Africa in a week and a half. Can I move in with you? And she was like, I mean, sure, I guess. Where else are you going to go? So I was like, okay, cool. Then she asked me, what are you going to do? Because I'm moving to Cape Town in the next month. So I was like, can I come with you to Cape Town? And she said, sure. I feel like it's worth knowing that she's 20 years older than me. She was 19 when I was born. So she's double my age. So boom, I get to Johannesburg. Everything's cool. Everything's tight. What I didn't know is that we were living in a crack den. And I was like, no, it's cool because it's a one bedroom and I get to be with my sister and everything's cool. Like, we're going to get through this. The month goes on. Family revelation after family revelation after family revelation. Secrets. Everything just comes out. I can't even tell you the secrets that came out during that month. So because we were living in a crack den and I didn't know, I just thought we were living that struggle life and we were gonna make it work. We didn't have like food in the house and I'm like, you know what, it's fine, I get it, like things happen, what we gonna do? My sister has exhausted all of her resources. She's asked everybody she can for money. Nobody got money right now. I had brought my iPad with me because it was my iPad. I had bought it myself. This was not nothing that my mom got me. I bought it myself. I was so proud of my freaking iPad, bro. So she sits me down and she's like, Cameron, like, we have no food in the house. I don't know where we're going to get money and I don't want you to starve. I don't want us to starve. So can we do something? And I really need you to trust me. I'm like, yeah, sure, anything. I mean, clearly I just busted up in your house. I decided to like pull this fast one and I'm like, I need to move in with you. So sure, I'm going to contribute. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that we survive. So she offers that I take my iPad with her to this basically like this pawn shop where like you take items there and you basically like hold them there for a loan and then you buy it back like the next month when you get paid. Knowing what I'm about to tell you later in this story, that was such a bad idea. It's not even funny. So we take my iPad into the pawn shop. I'm just like, okay, I trust that she's going to get it back at payday. She's promising me I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. I'm sorry that we even have to take it here. Like, we will make it work. We buy the tiniest little bit of groceries, but it is what it is. It gets us through the month to get to her payday. And like, I don't think anything of it. Her payday comes along. I'm like, okay, so now it's time for payday. Like, she's clearly going to buy my iPad back. The 25th rolls around. She don't buy the iPad. The 26th roll around. She don't buy the iPad. The 27th roll around. She don't buy the iPad. And now it's like, we have no money. So I keep my mouth shut because I'm like, I still want to make this work. I'm trying to like keep myself small, try not to make a fuss because I came to you for help. But it's stuck in my mind. I'm like, why are you not getting my iPad back? And she promised me that she would get it back. And even that month, she was like, I'm going to get it back for you. Don't even worry about it. So we ended up moving to Cape Town. Everything's sweet. We're working with what we got. We having fun. It's good vibes. The beaches are beautiful. The people are hot. Like, it's cool. It's cool. But I never forgot my iPad. A young hoe never forgets her iPad. I still didn't say nothing. Then we're about 4 months into Cape Town, maybe even less than that. And I'm going over pictures from December, wherever. We're like just chit-chatting, talking about it. And she's like, you know, I was strung out that whole time that you were there. The whole of December, I was just fully on crack. And I was just strung out. This is news to me. Obviously, this is news to me because I wouldn't have come if I knew you were still on crack. Like, what do you mean? I play it cool because I'm like, I'm liberal. I get it. I understand. Addiction is a disease. Like, it's cool. I get it. But, like, I wish you never told me. So then the months go by and we're having conflict after conflict after conflict. Every single month, we're like just short of groceries. We're just short of electricity. We're running out of electricity in the middle of the month. Now we have to always call my mom in the middle of the month to give us money so that we can get electricity. I'm thinking to myself, you make more than double my salary by this time I had a job. I'm contributing to the household. I get my contribution. You pay the rent. There should be no problem with electricity and groceries. Yet somehow we're always not having. I do want to preface that even this whole time while we were like in Cape Town, she was clean. She was sober this whole time. She just has terrible habits with money and she just cannot hold on to money or to take responsibility for her life. Clearly. So then, boom, my grandma dies late October. We go to the funeral in November. I get bullied by my cousins. And Tyler, if you're watching this, I will never forgive you for what you did at the funeral. The weekend goes by. I mean, it's good as it can be because, like, we just had a funeral. So, like, nobody's really thinking about what the other is doing. Or at least me, I wasn't thinking about what she was doing. Clearly, when she had the rental car that my mom purchased for the time that we were in Johannesburg, she went out and she did whatever she did. We come back to Cape Town and things are just so weird. Like, she's drinking more. I just don't feel right. My mom comes to visit and she catches my sister rolling a J, which is like the stupidest thing ever because you're 40. How are you still getting caught by your mom? That time comes and goes and everything is fine. December of last year rolls around and once again, payday comes around. She says she's gonna buy groceries. I give her my contribution. She doesn't buy groceries. Instead, she goes to karaoke with her coworkers. She goes to the year-end functions. She goes to the beach. No groceries in the fridge that whole weekend. I'm tripping. I trusted you to buy groceries with the money that I gave you to contribute to the household, and you seem to just be squandering it because now it's Monday and we have no meat, no food for the month. That was just one of my last straw. I low-key just stopped talking to her because I'm not even gonna lie to you. In our family, we do silent treatment. If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not gonna talk to you. By this time, in our time in Cape Town, she had already started taking out loans at like loan places or whatever. And like, I didn't even understand why, because I'm like, why would you want to get a loan? Like, you make enough for rent and for food. You just don't know how to spend your money. So she calls me one day and she's like, I'm going to go get groceries and I want to get you some wings. What do you want? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're using this loan money. I'm still not talking to you. I still don't really mess with you right now, but I'll get wings. Clearly, because this is your debt that you're accruing. She comes in with the wings, the most measly amount of the most expensive grocery store groceries, literally a loaf of bread, one piece of meat and juice. And somehow we're supposed to make that work. And it's literally the price of a month's worth of groceries. Later that same day, I get a call from my mom. She is irate. She's like, Cameron, why are you spending over $50 on Uber Eats on the credit card? You know it's blocked, and I blocked it for a reason because you don't know how to spend. I'm like, wait, what? What credit card? I don't even have the credit card. I asked you to take it back. She's talking about she got a fraud alert for a massive Uber Eats charge on the credit card, even though it's blocked. And I'm like, I'm busy sitting here eating buttered noodles. I don't know what you're talking about. But then it clicks in my mind that she just brought these groceries, and these wings for me. And I'm like, bro, I asked my mom, did you take the credit card from her when you were here in Cape Town in November? She says no. Now I'm stressed because I know exactly what happened. She used my credit card to buy this Uber Eats so that she can look all fancy in front of her coworkers and look like she has money when nobody has money in the middle of the month. So now I'm like, no, honey, you are out of your mind. And I already had suspicions that she may have relapsed while we were in Johannesburg, but I just wasn't sure because I was so shocked and dealing with, obviously, this death in the family. After this, every time we would talk, it would be an argument, it would be a problem. It's this, is this, is this. Suddenly, she's bringing up every single insecurity that she has about the family, thinking that we all have this hate club against her. I'm like, no, girl, we don't even talk to each other. Then I start to smell what smells like burning braiding hair coming from her room. And this was like over the span of weeks. And I'm in denial. I'm asking my friends, I'm like, what does crack smell like, guys? Because I feel like I'm starting to smell crack in this house. Anyways, there's a lot more to the story. Let me know if you want a part 2 or like a series of my time in Cape Town because it was crazy. Main point of this story, and I know you're watching, Karen, you sold my iPad for crack, and now everybody on the internet knows.
So, story time on when my ex got hit by a car, cheated on me with the girl that saved them, and then the girl lied about being pregnant all within 2.5, 3 weeks. So like I was dealing with my ex for like a really long time. So like we met in like 2008. So 20 years ago, 2008, that was my little boyfriend, 5th and 6th grade, stuff like that. And throughout the years, like all that. Okay. So that was just the backstory of that. And then fast forward to 2019, we have a 8-9-month-old little boy. Boom. So if you know, you know, don't, if you know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't, you know, just we'll leave it there. But yeah, I just thought of the story because the girl in the story, she came down my For You page not too long ago, and I was like, you. And then what was crazy about it is I ended up seeing all this stuff about her, how she was a liar, scammer, like, okay, no. All right, so let's get into it. So fast forward June 2019. We got an 8-9 month old. You know, I'm working. I'm a phlebotomist. I'm cool. So one day he FaceTimes me, and I think I was off this day too. One day he FaceTimes me, and he got a damn neck brace on, blood coming in his head. I'm like, what the fuck? He like, I got hit by a car, and then hung up. So then, now, if you from Philly, you know we got this page called No Gun Zone. So, like, right after that, I'm scrolling on Instagram, and I see somebody posted on No Gun Zone. You know how people hit up No Gun Zone and be like, tell people check on y'all folks. So the girl sent it in, said check on y'all folks, and to DM her, whatever. So I get her page, and I'm like, thank you. This is my boyfriend. This is my son, dad, whatever. Thank you so much. Blah blah blah. Thanks for helping him. Whatever. Like, what I said something. So, you know, she responded, you know, you're welcome, blah, blah, blah. And then we follow each other on Instagram after that. So cool. So he comes home later that day, maybe later that night, something like that. Because then I went to go see him like the next morning. Yeah, like the next morning I went to go see him. So he had got home. So mind you, his hip all effed up. Like, he in bad shape. Bruises, like, he is in bad freaking shape. So I think at one point, like, I had saw him, like, say something to her. And he like, what you mad because I'm just trying to say thank you to the person that saved me. It was something like that. And I'm just like, what the, like, I wish I remembered what the messages said, but it really didn't look right. But I really ain't paying no mind. Like, I don't know. I just really didn't pay no mind. But then again, like I said, I knew him for forever. Like, I knew him like the back of my hand. I knew he wasn't ish. Like, I knew he was a piece of poop. So I kind of was like, all right, but I just pushed it into the back of my head. Okay. So a few days go past, and this girl is like posting, like, she was posting like subliminals. Of course, at that second, like at that instant, I really didn't know it was like for me. But I was reading them, and because I knew he was a piece of poop, I was kind of like, what if she's talking about me? She had posted something like, when the devil can't reach you, he'll send you broke mother with good sex. And she said something like, I did some stuff this weekend that I don't normally do, but everything that happens in the dark comes to light, and that if it comes out, I got some stuff on that person too. And it's something like, only if y'all knew what y'all baby daddies do, and like just all this stuff. And I'm just like, mind you, these subliminals are going on for like days and days and days. And then what the kicker was I also had his page on my phone. So I just was like, one day, like, let me go to her page from his phone. Like, after I saw the subliminals, I'm like, let me go look at her page from his phone, from his account. So I go to his account and I click her page. She's hiding all of her stories from him. So all the little stuff she posted, so I can see, she's hiding from him. So that's when I realized, okay, no, this bitch talking about me and my situation. So, of course, I question him. And, you know, niggas be lying. So he lying. He like, oh, no, I would never, like, look at her. She this, she that. Cause so she was a white girl. She was a plus size, a big girl. She was a big white girl. She was a real big white girl. Plus size white girl. So he like, why would I just let look like that? Like, she looked nasty. Like, just going all in on her. And I'm just like, Like something ain't adding up. So now I'm just like, all right. She gotta be talking about me. It's something I do not know. Like, something I don't know. So there was this one post I reposted. If I could find it, I'm gonna put the screenshot here. Because I am gonna add some screenshots in here because I still got some of the stuff from this situation. So it was something talking about how, like, I be seeing y'all, like, in my nigga DMs or something. So I reposted it. Mind you, this was when I was still kind of oblivious to everything. And I was like, I reposted it and it said something like, I'm cracking up, real shit. Like, this page on my phone, I see everything. I just said, this page on my phone, I see everything. Right? So, and then this right here is what gave me confirmation that everything she's talking about is about me. This girl posts a video. Mind you, I told you, everything was hidden from his page. So he not seeing none of this. So this girl posts a video of her smoking outside her house. I guess it's her house. And you hear him talking in the background. She waited till I seen it Then once I seen it, deleted it. Oh, I was teed. Like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Now, mind you, at this point, we're about 2.5, maybe 2 weeks after the accident. So he got hit June 11, 2019. And this was around end of June, beginning of July, something like that. So about 3 weeks, give or take. So do y'all know, once this girl saw that post of me saying his page is on my phone, she DMs his page, says, I wish I could find these messages. It was a long thing, and it was a picture of 2 pregnancy tests, and she talking about, I missed my period. Mind you, it ain't even been a month yet since they did they little do. What, you a week, 2 weeks pregnant? Come on, like, what? Come back for the next part. I wanted to make it one part, but come back for the next part. All right, y'all, I'm back, but I just want to let y'all know y'all really messy. Like, y'all is really messy. And I do got a few screenshots of some of this stuff. So remember I was saying, before I get back to the story, remember I was saying how, like, right after the incident, I was saying something. He was saying something to her or something, but he was talking about, I was just saying thank you to her for saving me. I'm going to show y'all those screenshots. Don't even laugh, y'all. This shit was not funny. Don't laugh. All right, so yeah, so that's what happened. So now that I'm looking at these screenshots that I found, I remember. So what happened when she told me what happened, she was saying that he was a single. She said that he told her he was a whole single dad and he'd take care of his son by himself. So then when I wrote her, like, as his child's mom and his girlfriend, she like, oh wait, he said this shit. Like, that don't even add up. So that's just some of it, y'all. He gets disrespectful. Mouth is crazy. Like, I wish I died that day. I'm like, okay, just bring me my things. Like, what are we talking about? And he was still just blowing me up after the whole thing. Cause I, like, that was crazy. Like, like, it was weird. He's like, he already says, I told her, thank you. Da 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 da. I was like, but, and I'm just like, text her, not me. Text her, not me. Like, what? Like, get out of my face. Cause now you trying to play this role. So no, fuck out my face. So yeah, that's how that went with where when it first happened. I'm looking like, because now that was June 13th. Mind y'all, I told y'all the accident when we got hit was June 11th. All right, now fast forward back to the day she wrote about the pregnancy test. So she sent a picture of the 2 pregnancy tests and this message like, I missed my period, and if you're not gonna want to help out, that's cool. I did this already by myself, because she, at that time, her oldest son was 2 years old. So she's like, I already do this by myself. Da, 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 da. And it's like, who signs up to be a single mom? That's dumb. So mind you, I had his page. So I don't know if I like locked him out of his account or something when the messages came in, because I already knew he was sneaky. He was gonna probably try to delete him, so I ain't see him or nothing. So I was in there I was doing it myself. Like, no, now I'm about to get to the bottom of this. Like, and now looking back, I would never do no shit like this. But like, so dealing with him, he was, at one point in time, he was really popular. So like, I wasn't a stranger to having to argue with people, even though that's not like, shouldn't have to argue in a white period, especially no bitch. I wasn't a stranger to it. Like, I didn't care. I was always gonna go. Like, and then like dealing with him, people were always targeting me. Like, if they would be sneaking talking to him on the low, like she did, like they would be posting subliminals about me or posting the proof that they was talking to him, like, to mess with me. Like, why y'all do that to me? I'm the one that's getting hurt right now. So now I'm in there like, all right, because I'm a girl, mind you. And then I was severely postpartum. After I had my oldest son, I went through postpartum really bad. Like, I went through PPD bad. I had it really bad. So all of that, now I'm triggered. Like, triggered. So of course, my baby at this point, now he's about 9 months, because it was after like the 29th of June. So yeah, now he's 9 months. So I'm still like, I know all of this. So I'm like, well, if we only just had sex about 2 weeks ago, how you got a positive pregnancy test already? How you missed your period already? She trying to, oh, if you think I'm lying, and da 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 da, you just don't want to have to tell nobody about this, and you da da da, just lying. Like, girl, you lying. So we got, like, that shit was done because you're lying. She couldn't even get, like, no, she lying. And then I'm on Google. I'm really trying to find these pictures of these pregnancies, because you know bitches will get pictures from Google. and send it. I could not find it, so I'm like, it just had to be one of her. It probably was a picture of her old ones or something like that, because I could not find it. I didn't went to her friend page and everything to see her friend posted, because her friend had a baby recently, so I'm thinking like, all right, let me look through her friend like little slideshow she was posting to see if is that in there. Like, I was trying to find this shit like to prove this bitch was lying. Like what the fuck? And then of course I'm hurt with him. Like, now, like, you playing in my face. This bitch was posting subliminals about me when she was the one doing shit to me. Like, what the fuck? So now I'm hot. So at this point, oh, and then, so after that, once that message came in, she blocks me on my page. She blocks my page. In no particular order. She blocks me. So once I realized I'm blocked, I did what you know you're not supposed to do. I go and DM this bitch. I get on my other page and I just go DM this bitch like, all right, you playing with me now. So yeah, I wrote her, and this is what she had to reply. But I really was just pretty much saying along the lines of, you know, regular stuff when you write a girl about a nigga like, you out of pocket. But my whole thing with her was, you was posting all these subliminals targeting me, trying to hurt me. What the fuck is you mad at me for? Like, what I do? I didn't do nothing. And then this was a little more stuff she said, and it was just irking. Like, what are we talking about? Then you just lying. Like, it was just really crazy. Like, look, I really was trying to get her to understand that she not even, like, girl, you're lying and you're fucking yourself up because it don't make sense. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, of course, no matter what, and nothing was going to make it better because I still got cheated on, still lied, all of that. But if we're going to be anything, we're going to have to be absolutely for real. This is another thing that she had posted. I forgot all about. See, y'all girls still claiming y'all baby dads and they out here begging. Like, my whole issue with her was, you was throwing all these shots at me for no reason. I don't even know what's going on. I'm home laying in bed or at work, and you posted stuff about me, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. That was my issue with her. Like, you was playing with me. So after me and her had that back and forth, whatever, that's just like, I don't really remember. I don't think she said anything else about the pregnancy. And of course, I was cool off him. Like, of course, I was young, I was dumb. I think I still dealt with him after, but it wasn't, I don't think we was in like a relationship anymore, per se. Like, he was my son dad, so he was around, but like, it was just weird. Of course, and I'm hurt, so of course I'm sure about like, this the girl, It was just crazy. So then, now this has to be maybe like, I could probably say like 2-3 weeks later. Me and him, I think either I'm on FaceTime with him or something, or I'm sitting with him. Something, y'all. I know I'm dumb, but like, y'all, look, he was my son dad. At that time, I was young. That was my first like real relationship. So I thought I had to like try to work it out for my son or whatever. So he was like still around, obviously, because that's his dad. So we chilling. He gets a message from a fake page like, nigga, you just left my bitch white. Nigga, you just left my house. Something. Mind you though, she said you just left my house last night. Something like that. Mind y'all though, the time she's saying he was there, no, he wasn't. Because like I said, I was a little dumb, so I was with him that night and that same exact day. So I'm like, what is you talking about? I go to the page. The page follow all of her friends, and she like the NBA YoungBoy. Follow all the NBA YoungBoy stuff. I'm like, we know it's you. I think he responded something like, bitch, you knew I wasn't there or something. And she like, you know, you effing lying. He was with me though. Swear to God, he was with me. So at that time he ain't lied. That's probably the first time that nigga didn't lie. But he really was with me. So I ended up finding out that was her page, of course. It followed all of her friends and it followed YoungBoy. And then she ended up turning it into like another kind of business page later down the line. And so and the DMs were still there. And I'm like, mind you, we never heard about this baby again. She was never pregnant again. Like, I can't believe I slept. And then I ended up finding out that she just was a liar, period. It was like all this stuff about her, like she would lie, saying she homeless. Like she was just like, it was really bad. Like it was so much bad stuff said about her. And then not even that too long ago, she had an incident going around where people was like basically saying like she's like the girl who cried wolf, because now we don't even know if this situation is really what it is because this bitch done lied so much. Like, yo, Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. I got so many stories with this man. Even one time he threw a boulder at me while I was in a moving car because he thought I was sleeping with that person, even though that person was a family member. Do you know what I'd say? I'd say fucking get your ass out. Life was so tricky with him. That was a menace. That motherfucker was a menace.
Y'all, my life is like a movie. Y'all think I'm joking, but my life is literally like a movie. I could write a book. Okay, so boom. Anybody that don't know, I was adopted when I was 7. My mom passed away, and I never knew my father. So the 40 years that I've been living, I've been looking for my birth father, but after a while I gave up. So I'm like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna find him, you know, whatever. Like, my adoptive parents are amazing, so, you know, I never wanted for anything, so I'm good. So I've been working here for 5 years now, and there's this girl that everybody keeps saying I look like. Oh, you look like this girl, you look like this girl, you look like this girl, but she work on a different shift, so I never seen her, ever, like, never seen her. So I'm like, all right, whatever, like, it ain't nothing to me because I ain't never seen her. I'm like, damn, somebody take a picture or something. But anyway, they're like, oh, you look like this girl. So one day I'm walking to, you know, clock out or whatever, and this girl walks up and she's clocking in. So I'm like, damn, she kind of resembled me, you feel what I'm saying? Maybe that's the girl that everybody be talking about or whatever. So, you know, we crossed paths, kept it moving or whatever. Days later. The next time, same thing. Clock in, clock out. She like, excuse me, what's your name or whatever? So I'm like, Jess. And she's like, she was like, Jess, who's your parents or whatever? Like, matter of fact, what's your last name? So I was like, Harrison. And she was like, oh, okay, mind you, that is my adopted last name, so you wouldn't know anyway, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, why do you ask? She was like, I don't know, you look like somebody that, you know, I would be related to. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's so crazy that you said that because everybody keeps saying I look like you or whatever like that. So, you know, I'm like, you know, she was like, yeah, she was like, you might be the girl that everybody say I look like too or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, you feel me? So, you know, nothing really happened or whatever. Like, we was just, you know, cool or whatever. So, she asked me on Facebook or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. And next thing you know, I get a message or whatever from her. And she's like, yo, I'm having something at my crib or whatever. Like, you should come through or whatever. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. Send me the deeds or whatever. So we exchange numbers. She sends me the information. So I get out there or whatever. And she introduces me to everybody or whatever. Mind you, it's mad awkward because I came by myself. I don't know. So mad awkward, but whatever. So we get there, everything's cool. We drinking, we partying, you feel what I'm saying? So this guy walks in. And she's like, Dad, this is such and such, this is Dad or whatever. I'm like, nice to meet you, blah, 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 keep it moving. So as the party's going on, I go to the bathroom, I come back, I run into her dad. And he's like, you know, excuse me, like, who's your family or whatever? And I was like, you know, I don't know really because, you know, I was adopted. I was like, my mom passed away and I was adopted. My dad, I don't know my dad or whatever. And he was like, who's your mom? Like, what's your mom's name or whatever? And I was like, looking at him like, why you want to know my mom's name or whatever? Like, he was like, I could see that you're a little skeptical about it, but, you know, you look like somebody that I know or whatever. I'm like, dang, like, I must got a face that everybody know. You feel what I'm saying? Like, goodness. So he was like, who's your family or whatever? So I was just like, my mom's last name is Adams or whatever. So he was like, oh, okay. He was like, what's her first name? I'm like, Sarah. And he was like, where's she from? So I was like, here. You feel what I'm saying? So he's like, okay. Leaves it alone. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, leaves it alone. I go to work, mind my business, you know, keep it moving or whatever. I go to work the next day. This same man walks past me. So I look and I was like, excuse me, you know, are you homegirl's dad? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, how you doing? You know, blah, blah, blah. He was like, it's so crazy because I told my daughter to reach out to you because I wanted to talk to you or whatever. And I'm like, about what? And he was like, you know, well, this ain't a good time or whatever. Like, I gotta go. You know, we at work or whatever. It's not a good time to talk. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we leave it alone. I give him my number, you know, to reach out to me or whatever. We leave it alone. It's that. Y'all are so funny or whatever. Y'all have been so patient. So thank you. Part 2. Okay, so boom. The guy took about 2.5 weeks to get back to me. I was anxiously waiting the entire time. It was killing me. So he finally reaches back out. He asked me to meet him at some like little cafe place. I meet up at the cafe. I'm there like 15, 20 minutes before he shows up. He walks in. He has this book with him. He's apologizing for being late. And I'm like, it's okay. So he asked how I'm doing. And I was kind of like rude with it a little bit. But I was like, honestly, I'm not really for the small talk. I need to know what's going on. He said, I understand. He said, and I want to apologize for taking so long getting back to you. He said, but I felt as though it's not my place to tell you this story. He said, I feel like it's not my place to even tell you any of this. I said, so what did you bring me here? He said, I brought you here so that he can tell you. And as he's saying that, he's like waving this guy over. Y'all, when I tell you this guy got closer and closer and I could see my whole face in him, eyes, smile, because he was smiling. As he was walking over, he's smiling and he's teary-eyed. And as he's getting closer, I'm getting teary-eyed. So he gets to the table and he's like, hi. And I'm like, hi. And he was like, you are so beautiful. And I was like, thank you. And tears just started falling down my face. He sat down. He said, how are you? I said, I don't even know. I am so confused right now. He said, I'm going to clear all of that up. I said, okay. He said, first, let me just say this. You've been looking for your father. You found him. And I was so, like, stuck. I said, are you saying? He was like, yes. I'm your father. And I'm like, okay. I said, so who are you? He said, I'm your uncle. He said, this is my brother. I said, okay. It is so nice to meet you both. And I'm steady crying. He said, but that's not the part that's not it. This is not how the story ends. He said, that's only the beginning. I said, okay. He said, the woman that raised you, she wasn't honest with you. And I said, what you mean? He said, she's not the woman that gave birth to you. I said, excuse me? He grabs the book from my uncle, opens it up, first page, there's a picture of my mother, the one that raised me, and then another woman that I look just like. Mind you, I never saw the resemblance in the mom that raised me. Never saw the resemblance, but like just a little bit, not nothing too crazy. He said, this is my late wife, Cassandra. She's your mother. That is your mother's sister. So the woman that raised me for her sister. I'm like, what? He said, I was away in the military. He said, she passed away giving birth to you. We signed over our rights to your mother. Not even our rights, but like they just basically gave my mother custody so that she could raise me without going all over the place while my dad was in the military. But instead of my mom keeping me around, she took me away. So my father never saw me again. And then she died without telling me the real story. So with that being said, none of this is true. This is just a story. But thank you guys for listening.
Attempted murder on my mom's husband's mistress. So let's talk about how I was 16 years old and charged with premeditated attempted murder. So first, I'm just going to break everything down, like the details, and then if y'all still want to hear my story, we can continue with that on the next clip. But basically, I was 16 and I went to jail, and then I was 17 when I went to prison. I had got 16 years, which is 200 months in DOC, and after like a year and a half of being in prison, I was able to drop my time and only have to do 7 years, which was really a blessing from God, because without him, it would have never happened. So my main charge is premeditated attempted murder following like aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, armed burglary with a deadly weapon, but that's my main charge that everyone sees and talks about. So basically, I had got attempted murder on my mom's husband's mistress. I know it sounds crazy, but like a Lifetime story, I hear that a lot too. But yeah, my mom's husband's mistress. So yeah, my mom's husband was cheating on her with his mistress, and they used to have like drug binges, and my mom was not with that. So usually he would go off and cheat and come back, but this time he did not come back, and it literally drove my mom insane, and to the point to where she wanted this lady to die. And she tried to get some of my friends to do it, my boyfriend to do it, and it just wasn't going as her plan. So me being her child, her best friend, someone that was willing to do anything for her, she wanted me to kill this lady. And basically what happened was I attacked her with a machete, and everything just went left after that. So if you want to hear my story and how everything happened and how I came out of it, leave a like, comment, share it, whatever, but just let me know. So let's dive into part 2 on how I went to prison for premeditated attempted murder. Okay, so basically I was 16 and I was living with my dad, and I've lived with my dad my whole life, but I decided to go live with my mom because she let me have more leeway, more freedom. She wasn't as strict as my dad. So when I moved in with her, it wasn't nothing unusual at first. It was the same routine. Basically, I had 5 brothers who literally were my everything. They were 12, 6, 5, 3, and 2 at the time. And basically, like, my mom, she was so, like, obsessed with stalking this girl's page and stalking my stepdad's page that she really wasn't taking care of them how they should be taken care of. Which basically led to me taking them to school, picking them up from school, cooking dinner, making sure they had breakfast on the weekends when they weren't at school, taking them to their ball games, their ball practices, doing homework with them, making sure they all had baths and was in bed at a certain time so they can get up for school the next morning. I was 16 being a mom to 5 kids, which I was used to it, but this time it was a lot more because my mom wasn't there to help me. And also, I had a boyfriend, and my mom was kind of like, use him against me. Like, oh, if you don't watch the kids today, you can't go see your boyfriend. Oh, if you don't watch the kids, you can't go get your nails done. You can't go out with your friends. And I was 16 at the time, so it's like, okay, I will watch the kids if you let me go out. Like, I will do anything you want me to do if you let me go out with my boyfriend or my friends. You get what I'm saying? That's how my mind was at 16. And so since I was always watching my brothers, they would give me headaches because they're so loud and they're just always over the place, and I would get bad headaches. And so I would tell my mom, like, hey, Mom, like, I have a headache. Can you give me some medicine? And she'll be like, sure. And she'll give me headache medicine. But in the end, I found out that it was not headache medicine. I found them in the cabinets, and I confronted her on it. She tried to manipulate me into saying that I needed them. And it was anti-psych meds, antidepressants, those type of medicines. And basically, when I had got locked up, I had like a therapist or whatever come evaluate me, and they basically told me, like, if you take those type of meds and you don't need them, it can have a backwards effect. So basically make me crazy when I'm not crazy, if that makes sense. And she was also giving me this like green tea, and I just thought it was some type of green tea that was supposed to help you with headaches and being sick, but it turns out that it was some type of drugs in the green tea. I don't know, that's just what the investigators told me on that part. So basically, getting more into the story, she tried to get one of my good friends to do it. I'm not gonna name any names, just off of respect for them, but she tried to get one of my good friends to do it, and it just ain't go as she wanted it planned. Basically, he used her like, oh, I'll do it, but she was giving him her car, money, all types of stuff, and basically he was just using that as an advantage. And when that didn't go as planned, she tried to get my boyfriend to do it, and he's also my co-defendant. But so basically, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, da, 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 just like to persuade her into thinking he's gonna do it. So she would stop like hounding him, because she was like texting him like back to back, asking if he was gonna do it, like becoming like really crazy. And in the end, he basically told my mom like, yo, I'm not gonna do that, da, da, da. So that's when she turned to me and was like, you're gonna, I'm trying to say the word, but get rid of her, basically. And I just did not know what to do. Like, you want me to do what? Huh? Like, I've never even been to juvenile. I've never even had a referral in school. And you want me to do what to this lady? You're crazy. Basically, I did not know what to do. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want my mom to get in trouble. Like, my boyfriend used to tell me, you need to go back and live with your dad. You were better off with your dad. But I didn't want to tell my dad because I didn't want him to get my mom in trouble. And then my brothers. Like, I felt like if something happened, what was going to happen to my brothers? So basically, I stayed in that situation for my brothers because I felt like my mom wasn't in a position to take care of them because of things that would happen when I would think she could take care of them. So basically, after like a month or two goes by of her planning everything, she had a whole plan. She wanted it done with a gun. She wanted me and my boyfriend to run up in there and basically tie the lady up, tie her kids up and lock them in the bathroom and duct tape their mouths and hold her at gunpoint and steal all her money and then shoot her in the head. And it was just like crazy because you want me to do what? Like, I was very depressed going through it at the time. I was just scared. I was a scared teenager. I didn't know what to do. So my mom ended up giving me a deadline. Basically, hold on, what was it? October 18th was the fair. Midnight Madness, and my mom was basically like, this is the day it has to be done, because if you don't do it, then you can't go to Midnight Madness with your boyfriend. And back in the day when I was a kid, Midnight Madness was a big thing. That's when everyone popped out, dressed nice, you know, fair rides, fair food. It was just fun for teenagers, and that's what I wanted to do with my boyfriend. And basically she was trying to take that away from me, and I was just like, fine, like, just, I would do whatever you want, just don't take away like my freedom, like don't take away my sanity, because going out with him or with my friends or just leaving that house period just was like a weight lifted off my shoulders, because I didn't have to deal with my brothers. I didn't have to deal with my mom's crazy thoughts of what she wants to happen to this lady. So basically she gave me a deadline, and one day on that deadline I was out with my boyfriend and his homeboy, and basically she called me going off saying that I'm grounded, I can't go out with him, I can't go get my nails done, I can't go to the fair, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm gonna be stuck at the house with my brothers forever because I wouldn't, you know, kill this lady. So basically I was crying, like I didn't know what to do, and my boyfriend's homeboy went and got me a machete. Now that sounds crazy, but he went and got me a machete, and basically it was not planned to be used. It was just to persuade my mom, basically persuade her into saying, it's gonna happen, we have the weapon, it's gonna happen, but not really happen. You get what I'm saying? So basically he puts the weapon in the car, we go to my mom's house, I tell her to come outside, and I show her the weapon, and she was just like, what are you gonna do with that? And I was just like, I don't know, because really, we weren't gonna use it. It was not supposed to be used. It was just supposed to persuade her into thinking it was gonna happen. You know, hopefully she comes to the realization that this is not a good thing to do, and she just stops talking about it. So basically she tells me to go inside. I go inside with her. So we get to the room, and she already has my clothes laid out on the bed. It's a black jacket, black pants, black shoes, and she also has a separate pair of clothes next to the bed, and it's just another like fit, basically, because she said I was gonna have blood all over me. So basically what she told me was that she wanted me to cut the lady's head off. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what she wanted me to do. Basically how she described it was, if you ever watched The Walking Dead, the lady Michonne who has the machete and she cuts the zombie's head off. That's what she wanted me to do. And I'm like hysterically crying at this point. So basically when it's time, I go outside and I get in the car. It's raining and I'm crying driving, and basically my boyfriend was like, pull over, like you're no fit to drive, like you're crying, it's raining, I don't even have my glasses on to see the road. So I pull over, and he gets in the driver's seat, I get in the passenger seat, I'm just crying and crying and crying. I got the machete in my pants because I didn't want, like, we got pulled over for them to see it, like I never like committed a crime before. So basically he ended up taking me to a street in front of the victim's house. Right, the street in front of the victim's house. Mind you, I already knew where the victim lived because my mom had pulled up on her before, trying to fight her because my stepdad was over there with the kids, and it was just a lot. So my boyfriend ended up driving a street in front of my victim's house, and basically he looked at me and was like, I don't want you to do this, you just need to go back and live with your dad, and it was better at your dad's, your mom is crazy. But me, I just could not tell my dad or anybody because I didn't want my mom to get in trouble. I didn't want anything to happen to my brothers because they needed me at the time. So, and I'm just crying, I'm like having an anxiety attack at this point, and I get out the car. And I got out the car and I walked all the way to my victim's house, and I get to her house, trying not to cry, I'm good. So I get to my victim's house, and basically her door, basically you could see into it. It was like one of those glass doors. And I looked in, and she's literally at the kitchen table doing homework with her kids. Okay? She's doing homework with her kids. And I was just saying to myself, like, this lady does not deserve this. Like, she's a mom, just like my mom. She has kids, just like my mom has kids. And I couldn't even think of anything happening to my brothers, because about my brothers, like, I don't know what I would do to somebody if somebody hurt them. So I was just like, she got kids, and she's doing homework with them. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm just gonna go back and live with my dad, and I'm gonna take my brothers with me. That's what I was thinking at the time. I was going crazy. And so my victim gets up from the table, and she starts walking towards the door. And I thought she was just gonna go into the hallway, because there was a hallway right there. I thought she was gonna go into the hallway to go to the room or use the bathroom or something. So I get to the side of the door so she wouldn't come outside and see me. Like I moved so she wouldn't see me and come outside, basically. So when I moved, like, I'm just like standing there like, oh my God, please don't come outside. Please don't come outside. Like, I'm gonna leave. Don't come outside. And with my luck, the lady came outside. When the lady came outside, I guess she came outside to smoke a cigarette, and she didn't want to do it around her kids, or she just don't smoke in the house. I don't know. But she came outside to smoke a cigarette. And when she looked at me, she screamed. She screamed so loud. And I just took the machete and I swung on her. And I blacked out. So this video is already kind of long, but this is just basically the part that led up to me attacking the lady with the machete, and why I got premeditated attempted murder at the age of 16 and went to prison. So if you want to hear how everything else happened, when I attacked her, what happened after I attacked her, what happened in prison, and where me and my mom are at now in each other's lives, just like, comment, share, whatever, just let me know. Part 3 on how I ended up in prison on premeditated attempted murder. So just a little recap for the people that are joining in. Basically, I went to prison at 16 for premeditated attempted murder on my mom's husband's mistress. I know that sounds crazy, but it's what happened. So basically, my stepdad was cheating on my mom with this other lady, and my mom wanted me to basically unalive this lady. And in the end, I ended up attacking her with a machete, and everything just went left after that. Where I left off at, I was at her house with the machete, and she ended up coming outside to smoke a cigarette. And I was on the side of the house because I didn't want her to see me. Like, I was gonna leave. I was gonna do it. I was gonna leave. That was my whole plan. But she ended up coming outside, and she seen me. And when she seen me, she screamed so loud, and it scared me. Like, oh my God, the neighbors are gonna hear. And I just swung on her. I swung on her with the machete, and I blacked out. So I don't really remember me attacking her because I blacked out, but I do remember her daughter coming to save her. And I'm not gonna lie, her daughter was like 12 years old, and her daughter came to save her mom, and she grabbed the machete. And when I was blacked out, I felt like someone tugging on the machete. So that's when I came to reality, and I was like, oh my God, this is a child. And I pulled it back. And when I pulled it back, it like cut her thumb off, basically. So after I pulled it back and it cut her thumb off, I was like freaking out because I'm back in reality. Like, I seen what I just did. Blood was everywhere. The lady was on the floor, and I just did not know what to do. So I was just like, I'm so sorry. Please call an ambulance, but I gotta go. And I left. And when I got back in the car, my co-defendants were like, what happened? Like, did you do it? Like, what's wrong? Why are you still crying? And I was just like, drive the car. Like, please drive the car. Get me away from here. One thing I do remember telling my mom is like, if you have anything happen to this lady, like, the cops are gonna come knocking on your door first, because everybody knows that you don't like this lady don't like you. And she used to always tell me like, blah blah blah, like, don't jinx me, that's not gonna happen, I got this. And what happened? They came knocking on her door as soon as it happened. So we're in the car, we're driving, we're gonna go drop off one of my co-defendants because he really didn't have anything to do with it, honestly. So we just go drop him off. And so while we're in the car, my mom calls me and she's like, did you do it? And I was just like, yeah, I did it. And she was just like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I did it, and I'm not coming home. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I was just crying. I was just like, in that moment, I was just so mad that she made me do this. And so I was just like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna go stay with my boyfriend for a little bit. Like, just leave me alone. And she was just like, I'm gonna come to you. Like, I'm gonna get in the truck and I'm gonna come to you, and you can tell me what happened. We can figure this out, like, what to do next. And I was just like, no, like, you need to stay home with my brothers. Like, someone has to be there with my brothers because the cops are gonna come questioning you, and you just need to be there with my brothers. Don't worry about me. I don't want to see you. And I hung up the phone. So me and my boyfriend get to his house, like the area around his house, and my mom just keeps calling my phone. And when I answered, it was the police. And when I heard it was the police, I immediately hung up the phone because I was scared. Like, why are they questioning me? Like, I should have no parts. That's where my mind was at. And I just hung up the phone, and I didn't know what to do. I was just crying. So I was asking my boyfriend, like, what do we do? Do we go on the run until this dies down because I feel like they have no proof? Or do I just talk to the police and, like, let them question me how they want to question me? And he was just like, it's whatever you want to do. So I ended up calling my Nana because my mom said that I could trust her. So I called my Nana and I told her to come pick me up because I needed to go to the house where the cops were and basically go with them so they can question me. So, mind you, my boyfriend had already took the evidence and hid it somewhere. So my Nana gets there. She's like, what happened? What did you do? And I was just like, I don't want to talk about it. I just need you to take me back to my mom's house. The cops are there. And I was like, I was crying so bad. I told my boyfriend, like, where's my stuff? Like, I'm thinking my phone or something like that. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, where's my stuff? And I guess me crying was making him nervous. He was like, I'm gonna go get your stuff. And he came back with the evidence. And I was just like, why do you have that? Like, it don't need to be out here around us. And my Nana was just like, put it in the back of my car. I'll get rid of it. Remember that. Remember what I just said, okay? So he puts the evidence in the back of her car, and I give him a hug, a little kiss, and we go our separate ways. And so me and my Nana are in the car, and she's just asking me what happened, and I was just like, I did something, and the cops want to talk to us. I don't know what to do. I did it for my mom, and she was just like, I'm gonna get you out of this. We're gonna get you out of this. And so we get to my mom's house, and like, my victim's road is closed off. The road, like the highway is closed off. My mom's road is closed off. And when I get there, it's like a million cop cars, and they're shining light on the car, because I guess they're trying to see like who's in the car. And they were like, are you Hannah fine? And I was like, yes, I'm getting out, like, I'm coming to talk. And so when I got out the car, the police immediately turned me around and put me in handcuffs. And the first thing I said was, where are my brothers? Like, where are my brothers? Who's with my brothers? Because I seen that my mom was already in the cop car. She was just staring at me. And I just did not know what to do, because my brothers are by themselves. They're in there with a police. But I ended up seeing some of my mom's family, like her sister and stuff, out there. So I was like, okay, they're going to be with my aunt. They're okay. So I ended up going to the back of the cop car with them. And we drive to the police station, and basically I was in there for like, how long? Like 6 hours? I was in there for 6 hours, from like 10 at night to 6 in the morning. I was in there handcuffed to a table, and they was just questioning me, questioning my mom. And at first we weren't saying nothing, and they were actually going to release us because they really had no evidence. But they wanted the phone. So mind you, my phone that I had was in my Nana's car. I left it. And they were calling her asking for my phone, and they were like, is there anything else in the car that you need to tell us about? Or is there anything that Hannah told you that you need to tell us? And she was like, her boyfriend put something in my car. I don't know what it was, but he put something in the back of my car. So they tell her to pull up to the police station so they can get the evidence. And she was just saying, like, she don't know what it was. She has no clue what he put back there. And basically, when they took the evidence to my mom to show her, my mom said something. And then they came in my room, and they put her statement in front of my face and was like, you're finna go to prison for the rest of your life. You're a murderer. Your mom told on you. Here's the statement of what she said. And here's the evidence we have on you. All the pictures in front of me, the statement in front of me, my victim in front of me. And I was just like, what? And so I'm reading the statement, and my mom basically turned her back on me. My mom said that I was crazy, schizophrenic. She had no idea what I wanted to do, what I planned on doing. She had no intentions on ever hurting this lady. I was jealous of the lady, and she was just throwing me under the bus to basically save her and basically say F her daughter. Yeah. So I'm going to stop the video here because it's already a little long. But yeah, that's what happened. My mom turned her back on me, and what happens after is even more crazy than what I just said. So thank y'all for supporting me and wanting to hear my story. Just continue to like, share, follow me for the next part, and we're going to keep the ball rolling.
Just found out my husband has been cheating on me for the last...
I got sentenced to 200 months in state prison. So let's start part 4 onto why I went to prison for premeditated attempted murder. So where I last left off was when my mom turned her back on me and just threw me under the bus like I was nothing. So after my mom threw me under the bus, I just started crying hysterically because I was just terrified. Like, my heart was broken. So the cops were just like, I'm gonna go to prison for the rest of my life. I'm a murderer. My mom sold me out. Just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And basically, I was just like, bro, like, I would tell you, like, what happened if y'all just stopped talking to me like this? Like, please stop, please stop. Like, I was just hysterically crying. So I ended up telling them, yes, I did it, but can I just tell y'all why I did it? Like, I'm not a murderer for real. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a violent person. Please just listen to my story. So after I told them the story, you know, what I told y'all in the other clips, they were just literally lost for words. Like, they didn't know what to do after that. Oh, I do remember that my phone that they had was sitting, like, on the table in front of me, and it just kept ringing and ringing and ringing, and it was my dad. So literally, I just started begging them to answer the phone because I was terrified and I wanted my dad. Like, I never should leave that at my dad's house. And I thought he was gonna be mad at me, but when they answered the phone, he was just like, he was scared because, you know, I'm his daughter, his only daughter. And he was like, Hannah, whatever you do, just wait till you get a lawyer. Don't tell him nothing. Like, he didn't even know what was going on. He just knew what my Nana called and told him. So I'm still crying, and I just tell him, like, it's too late. Like, I already told them what I did, and I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to me, but I already told them. And he just got quiet. So it's like 6 o'clock in the morning now. They still don't know what to do with us or what to do with me because I'm a child, and the information I just said, the information my mom said, the information my Nana said, like, they just don't know what to do. So eventually they ended up taking my mom to county jail, and they ended up taking me to juvenile. So once I get to the juvenile facility, they housed me, and I really don't know what to say about my time in juvenile because I was only there for a week, and then after that week, they transferred me to county jail because I was being tried as an adult. So I get to county jail, they transferred me and my co-defendant, and he goes to the juvenile pod for boys. I go to the infirmary because they don't have a juvenile pod for females. I was literally the only female juvenile in county jail, so I was housed in the infirmary, and I got some stories about the infirmary, but it really wasn't that bad. Like, the guards, they were very nice to me. They ended up putting a TV in my room. I could watch TV all night. I was able to use the phone all day, call my dad, just calling my dad all day. I know I was bugging him. I had food. My dad sent me packages. Like, it wasn't bad. But get back on track. I ended up doing 15 months in county jail because my mom decided to take her case to trial. I pleaded guilty, but I still had to wait for my mom's trial to be over for me to get sentenced and for my co-defendants to get sentenced. So my time in county, I had this lawyer that my dad had got for me, and he always came to see me, basically just keeping me updated on like the things my mom was saying. And some of the things that my mom was saying was actually pretty wild. My mom was doing and saying anything to get out of this situation and just leave me in it to deal with it by myself. So I found out that my mom said I was jealous of my victim because I was in a relationship with my stepdad. So when I heard that, I was just heartbroken, crying again. I did a lot of crying. So 15 months go by of dealing with this, and my mom's trial finally comes up, and basically she had her side and I had my side. So after the trial was over, she ended up being found guilty. And then, shortly after, we had our sentencing date. And so the day of sentencing, I got sentenced first, and the judge sentenced me to 200 months. So that's 16 years. Now, when he said 200 months, I didn't know how long 200 months was. So I started counting on my fingers, and I ran out of fingers, and I was like, that's 10 years. Like, how long is 200 months? Like, why ain't nobody telling me how many years 200 months is? Like, I was starting to freak out a little bit. And my dad, he basically just stormed out of the courtroom, crying. My family, they was all crying. I was crying. They had to get me to the back, and that's when my lawyer told me, like, Hannah, 200 months is 16 years. And when I heard the years that I got, I just fell down to the ground crying. Like, at this time, I was 17 now, and I just felt like my life was over. I felt like I was never going to have a life. And honestly, I just wanted to die. Like, I did not want to be here anymore. I felt like my life was over. So they take me back to county jail, and when I got back there, like, a lot of the guards was waiting for me, and some of them was even crying. So they take me to the office where my therapist was at. Her name was Miss Fry. I will never forget her. She was such a sweet lady. But she was in there with a couple of the officers that I got close with that really looked out for me. And we're all just crying because they didn't think I was going to get that much time. I'm going to stop the story here. So if you want to hear how long my mom got and what happened when we got transferred to prison, just give me a like, a comment, and a follow. And part 5 will be here shortly.
One thing about me is I am a passenger seat girl. If I have to drive, I'm not going.
Part 5 onto why I went to prison for premeditated attempted murder. So to everybody who's new here, my name is Hannah, and I got locked up for a premeditated attempted murder. Basically, I was manipulated by my mother, and basically she wanted me to unalive her husband's mistress, and I ended up attacking her with a machete. And yes, it sounds bad. It's like a Lifetime story, I already know. But to catch up on everything, part 1 through 4 is already uploaded on my TikTok. So now for the big question. My mother ended up getting 55 years. So after we were all sentenced, they ended up moving me from the infirmary to the adult pod. But since I was still underage, I had to be locked in the cell 24 hours. So mind you, my whole 15 months in county jail, I never seen my mom. But when they moved me to the adult pod, I was able to see her through the window on the other adult pod, since we weren't able to be on the same pod with each other. And we would literally just look at each other, just like looking at each other. And then I started getting little notes on my breakfast trays from my mom. And on the little notes that she would send me, basically she was just telling me like everything I would need to take with me when I went to prison, stuff I couldn't take with me just because she already knew. And she would just tell me how much she loves me and she's sorry that we're going through this. And I used to look forward to getting those letters. I looked forward to getting those letters. Like, it just used to make my heart like so happy that my mom was writing me letters and talking to me.
So after about like a week in county, after we were sentenced, we were shipped off to prison. And it was like 50 of us, and like all the women, they were all like handcuffed to each other, like one person here and then another person was right next to them, handcuffed and shackled. But since I was a baby, I couldn't be handcuffed to another adult woman because I was a child and she was an adult. And so when I seen all the women start coming in and stuff, I was just looking for my mom. Like I was just looking for her just because I wanted to be next to my mom on this ride to prison. And I know y'all are thinking like, why were you looking for your mom? Why did you want to be next to her? Why were you happy she was writing you notes? But at the end of the day, that was still my mother. And I was so scared of going to prison. I was so scared of going to prison that, sorry. So I was so scared of going to prison, and my mom was the only person I knew. Like, I've never been in this predicament before, and I'm literally, my mom's my mom. Like, I've known her my whole life. So I just felt comfortable being with her, even though of our situation and like her trying to manipulate me and throw me under the bus. I just still wanted my mother. So they started putting us on the bus, and all the adults went to like the back of the bus. And then on the front of the bus, it was a caged off area for like pregnant women, crazy people, and juveniles. So it was me. I sat next to a pregnant lady and then another lady next to me that could not fit in the back. What broke my heart in that moment was when everybody was loading on the bus, my mom was kind of in the front so she could choose wherever she wanted to sit. And instead of sitting in the seat right behind me, so we could talk or we could do whatever, because we haven't talked in 15 months. And that's all I wanted to do. Like, it was going to be like a 5-hour drive, and I just wanted to sit there and talk to my mom. And she didn't want to be by me, I guess. So she went to the back of the bus. So on the whole ride there, everybody was just talking and laughing, and people kept saying to me, "Oh my God, Hannah, you're so pretty. You look just like your mom. She told us so many things about you. You're just so pretty. Oh, you're such a baby." And I was just like, okay, like my mom, she talked good about me, but why didn't she want to sit next to me? And it was this one girl, and she was like, she called me like fine, like trying to hit on me. And my mom stood up and was like, "That's a child, like that's my baby, like don't even try her like that." And then after that, she didn't say nothing else. So we all finally get to the reception center in Ocala, and the reception center is a process. You gotta check in, they gotta get your name, everything. Then you go to the back, they make you shower, they make you do your hair, you gotta squat and cough. Then they gave us a dress that we all had to put on, and we had to wait in the caged area. It was just a long process. At this point, all the guards knew that I was a juvenile and that I had to go to Lowell across the street to be in the YO camp since I couldn't be on the actual adult compound. So they told me, like, when I get done showering and everything, to go in the other room and not go in the caged area because other adults was in there and I wasn't supposed to be with adults. So when I got done showering, I was walking past the cage and my mom was like, "Hannah, come here." And so I looked around, there was no guards to tell me, "Hey, you can't go in there." So I ended up going in the cage and I sat next to my mom. And I was like, "What do you want?" And she was like, "Are you okay? How do you feel? Do you have everything you need? Do you need anything?" And I was just mad because you didn't talk to me for 5 hours when you could have been literally right behind me, face to face, talking to me. And she was like, "Oh, I'm just saying." I was like, "No, like, you want to be a mom now? Like, you want to look out for me now? No, bro, I'm good." And then the police see me and was like, "Fine, come in his room." So, of course I ended up tearing up and I was just like, "I love you." And I walked off. So they ended up transferring me across the street to Low, put me in the YO camp, and it was like a boot camp. Not gonna lie, it was like a boot camp. I'll tell y'all more details or more stories about my time in the YO camp and my time in prison and stuff if y'all want to know. But basically, like, when I was there, like, I was very angry and I had stopped believing in God. Like, in county, I was like trying to talk to the devil, like, "Oh my God, if you would just give me my freedom and take all this away, like, I would do anything for you." Because I was just so upset that God, like, let me go through all this. So during my time of me not believing in God, which I believe in him now, like that is my Lord and Savior and I love him so much. But during my time of me not believing in him, like I was just getting in trouble. I was fighting because I was the baby and people would like try to daughter me, or they would like get jealous because of their girlfriend talking to me. It was just a lot and I was a baby, so I just had to prove myself to them. And I kept putting in motions and appeals and it just kept getting denied. So I got denied twice, but my lawyer ended up putting in my third motion. So on this one specific day, I got into a fight and basically they gave me a battery, and which it wasn't a battery, but they didn't see the other girl hit me back. So they took us all to jail, and when I was in confinement, I was in a cell by myself. I wasn't allowed to be housed with another YO due to my time and my charges, because at the time I had 16 years. But so I kept getting Bible studies slipped under my door, and I was just like, I don't want these. Like, I don't believe in God right now. I don't want them. But one day, I just got bored, so I picked it up, and I started doing it. So they ended up transferring me to another confinement pod called Tango because I was getting declassified, which means I was going to be on the adult pod because I was of age now, and I just had a lot of time in the YO camp. They didn't want me being around the other YOs for too long. So I ended up being in confinement for 3 months, and I was starting to want to pray, but I was just like, no, like I don't want to pray. But it just kept coming to my mind to pray. So I'm still getting these Bible studies and I'm slowly doing them. And then one day, I don't know what happened, but one day I just started crying. Like, I just started crying and I was just crying to God. Like, I literally got off my bunk and got down on my knees and was praying and talking and yelling to him. Like, I was saying, God, please help me. Please get me out of this situation. Like, there's no way I could do 16 years. Like, my life is going to be over. Please just let me go home to my family, like my brothers. Like, I miss them so much. Like, just please help me at least lower my time. Like, please just, you don't have to send me home now, but just lower my time. And I was just like, I promise I will never turn my back on you again. Like, I was just mad at you, but I really love you. I was just mad at you. I will never turn my back on you again. And it was a lot. Like, I was just having like a mental breakdown. So after I get done crying and praying to God, I'm finally calmed down. Like, I felt a lot better. And I was like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. So right before I fell asleep, a guard came to my door and was like, fine, you got some mail. Like, come get it. So I got up to go get my mail. And when I looked down, it was a letter from my lawyer. And when I opened it, like I opened it so fast because like I don't ever get letters from him. And so when I opened up my letter, basically he told me that my motion was approved and that I had court like after my birthday. So I immediately start crying because I kept getting denied. Like, my emotions got denied, my appeals got denied. And so I just found it crazy. Like, after I just got done praying to God and telling him that I was never going to turn my back on him again, as soon as I got done doing that, I get a letter from my lawyer saying that my motion finally got approved. And I was just crying and crying and crying because, like, God really did that. Like, all he wanted was for me to believe in him. All he wanted was me to love him and for me to put him first, and he was going to help me. But he wasn't going to help me if I kept denying him and turning my back on him. So they eventually let me out of confinement, and they ended up shipping me back to the reception center because GP, which is general population, were also allowed to be there, not just the receptionists, the RNOs. So they ended up shipping my mom to Lowell. So I did a lot of time at the reception center, and I also did some time at Homestead. But during this time, which if y'all want to know about my time there, y'all just ask and I will tell y'all. I'll give y'all story times because it's some crazy things that went down. But after my birthday, I turned 19. I ended up going to court. I think I went to court on June 24th. Or no, I think that's the day I got sentenced, was like re-sentenced, was June 24th. But I ended up going to court, and when I went in there, my lawyer was there, the state attorney was there, and she was kind of like on my side. Like, she did not want me to get that long. And so I talked to the judge, and basically he just said he was going to give me a chance. He said he was going to give me a chance to get my life together and to fix myself. And he took back like 9.5 years. and I only had to do 7. I ended up getting like some game time and stuff. So instead of doing like 8-ish, I was only able to do 7, which I am so grateful for. And it's all because of God. And I just love him so much. And I'm just so appreciative and blessed for the blessing that he gave me to fix myself and to get myself together and to build a life for me, because I have a purpose and I'm slowly figuring out what my purpose is. So if y'all want to know more stories, or if there's any questions y'all have, just ask me and we can keep it going. But yeah, this is my story and this is my testimony. It's all because of God.